I should never have lived beyond Thanksgiving 1944. I got shot and right went through the Bible in my shirt pocket and through my middle. And that was in the dark of the night, the day before Thanksgiving. And when I went to the regimental aid station, everybody else was having turkey. I got my stomach pumped out.
He came back as a young captain in the infantry. He had the Bronze Star, and he had 2 Purple Hearts. You know, as well as I know him, he has never brought up, and I have never asked him exactly how that came to be. Went back and finished law school, I think, in 1948, and then started the practice of law here in Shreveport with the Hargrove firm, and then with himself and the Katie Beard Law Firm, who he was practicing with in 1973-74 when he became a federal judge.
Socrates said the obligations of a judge are to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially. Tom does all of them, absolutely.
In his courtroom, believe me, everyone is equal, both in his eyes and in the eyes of the law. It's just not an expression with me. He means it. The lawyers like to try cases before Judge Stagg, not because he favors one side or the other. Believe me, he just soon chopped down a friend as a stranger. But he's prepared and he's fair. Tom Stagg carries a watch which is set on Greenwich time all the time, and you don't want to be late in his courtroom for anything. If you are, he'll fine you, and he'll fine himself for being late, which happens occasionally for both of us, $1 a minute, but you need to expect it and you need to be on time. He was instrumental in helping with the design, and everyone who sees it says it's one of the most attractive courthouses in the country. Had got it built at a very realistic price, one that no other federal courthouse in the country on a square footage basis has been built as economically as the one in Shreveport. But let me tell you this, Rick. He got the building built. It looked beautiful. Didn't ask any credit for it. A lot of people don't know that. But then, out of his own pocket, he went out and bought the yellow daffodils and jonquils, which you see planted on the sidewalk by the federal building. Went out himself and planted them alongside the building. And, you know, they're there to this day.
One Sunday, I was out there planting bulbs, and this guy who works at the medical school came by and thought I was the gardener. And I didn't tell him any differently. I just went on planting bulbs, and he took my picture, and then he sent me a copy of it. No.
Now, what is a federal judge doing planting bulbs in front of the federal court?
Well, I plant bulbs in front of my house, and this courthouse needed a little flowers. The government doesn't do everything.
He's a tree hugger. He's really into the environment and practices what he preaches. Have you ever seen his photographs?
I have not.
Oh, you're missing something. He takes pictures of wildflowers. He knows the names of them all.
It's called Asclepias tuberosa. This is called Copogon pucellus. This one is called Nemostalis geminiflora, and it grew out at Mr. Fullerlove's plantation, and he called one morning during a jury trial and said, "It's blooming, it's rare." So I recessed the jury for lunch, ran home, got my camera, went to his farm, took the picture, got in the car, came back, put the trial back on again, and I've never seen the flower again.
I knew that he walked every morning around 6:15 or so, and I lived in the neighborhood, so I called him up and asked him if I could join him walking in the morning. And his reply was, "It's a free country and the streets are free."
He's a rated badminton player. He is a world-class photographer. He is a hiker. He hikes here in Shreveport. He hikes all over Europe. He knows about these places that he hikes. When you sit down and talk to him, you realize what he knows and the depth of this human being. Just a totally remarkable human being.
In the years that I've known him, I have never heard him say a negative thing about anybody else. And I find him, for a judge, in that regard, most non-judgmental.
Whatever virtues command respect and ensure affection are united in the character of this man. He is kind and generous and honorable, and his good deeds are many and unknown by most. I don't know what else I can say about the man.
He's something special. And as someone said when Winston Churchill passed on, it'll be a long time before we see his likes again. And I hope it's a long time before Tom Stagg passes on, but when he does, you can say that, and believe me, it'll be true.
He is and has been an officer and a gentleman. An officer in battle with the infantry. An officer of the court now, and always a gentleman, and a very good and trusted friend.
One thing I know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. That's me.